hosting a community story time.
Are all about black people, about gay people.
Books banned by the state. A Florida man still recovering.
We saw a man laying on the ground
after being attacked by an unwelcome trespasser. And style and sustainability.
All the styling is secondhand or thrifted.
Strike Magazine and FIU joined together to throw the last tea party of Earth. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Good morning, South Florida. I'm Julian Davis.
I'm Laura Palfrey. Today is Tuesday, April 23rd, 2024.
Live from the Lee Kaplan School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
The investigation continues after a South Florida woman disappears and is found dead near Vero Beach. A fatal carjacking in Central Florida has been tied to other criminal activities. Many questions are still left unanswered and the motive of the crime is unclear.
WKMG's Catherine Silver reports on the ongoing investigation.
I know that there's some bad players and bad actors that are doing incredibly dangerous things with this.
Sheriff Dennis Lima says his detectives are putting the pieces together in what's turned out to be an incredibly complicated investigation. Let's start with Jordanish Torres Garcia, who deputies say is a person of interest in the armed carjacking April 11th. Investigators say he's wearing the same sweatshirt in his Facebook profile picture as the masked man in this video taken by witnesses. The sheriff also believes he's the man who bought the green Acura, seen here behind Catherine Aguas Vivas's white Dodge Durango. Detectives have not established a direct connection between Jordanish and Catherine, but they have linked Catherine to this man, Giovanni Crespo Hernandez. The sheriff says he spoke with her on the phone during her drive from South Florida to Seminole County. At least that's what her brother told them.
Lewis tells us that Giovanni says that Catherine was up here to deliver money and other stuff for a friend.
We don't know what other stuff means, but we did find out more about Giovanni from court documents. They show pictures of what law enforcement found when they searched his home in Castleberry, jewelry from robberies and home invasions, a gun and fentanyl. The sheriff says this is Giovanni's girlfriend. She was arrested for picking up a drug delivery in Osceola County. That's also where detectives say Catherine Aguas Vivas was found dead in a burning car with bullets on the ground. The same bullets were recovered from another murder the day before, where a tow truck driver was gunned down in Orange County. And the sheriff says they think the same green Acura was at that scene too.
That was WKMG's Catherine Silver reporting. According to the sheriff, the victim appeared to be targeted. No charges have been filed at this point.
This morning, a man near Fort Myers recovers after being attacked by an alligator while walking his dogs. As WBBH's Trent Bennett reports, he was rescued by a brave neighbor who happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, this all happened at the Corey neighborhood that you see over my shoulder, just off of Immokalee Road in Collier County. And it was on a Friday night when a man named Walter Rudder says he was driving home when he came across one of his friends, Rick, who was laying on the ground and was screaming for help. He tells me that an 11-foot alligator had Rick by the leg and was dragging him into a pond just like this one here at the Corey. He says if he wouldn't have driven up on his friend the moment he did, he thinks this story would have ended differently. On Friday night, the ride home for Walter Rudder into his Corey neighborhood off Immokalee Road in Collier County is a night he says he will never forget.
I'm driving, and we saw a man laying on the ground, waving his arm. We pulled over, and I got out of the car and saw that an alligator had him by the leg.
The man he found lying in the road was his neighbor and friend, Rick Fingerette. Rudder says Rick begged him to run the gator over, hoping it would release its jaws from around his leg.
Absolutely would not let go. He was dragging him into the pond.
It worked. The animal eventually set Rick free from its grasp and returned to the water. Walter says FWC officers later removed the gator from the pond. Rick was taken to the hospital.
Alarming is what I would say.
Meanwhile, FWC says this is a reminder that gator mating season is starting soon. So if you come across one, keep a safe distance. always keep your pets leashed and never feed or approach the alligators that you see. I asked him how severe his injuries were. He tells me that Rick is going to be okay, so we'll take his word for it. FWC tells me that it contracted some trappers to come out on Friday night. They have safely grabbed the gator and safely relocated it. We're reporting local in Collier County along Immokalee Road at the Corey neighborhood. Trent Bennett, NBC2.
The Florida Highway Patrol is looking into the death of a 7-year-old boy after a crash at an ATV resort. The boy's guardian was also injured during Sunday's crash near Gainesville. Troopers say neither were wearing a helmet. The boy was sitting behind the 32-year-old man when the ATV they were riding on flipped, leaving the 7-year-old lifeless and 32-year-old guardian injured. This marks the third death reported from hog waller, leaving many locals concerned with the safety protocols of the resort.
As book bans continue to affect libraries across the state, a Florida social justice group is working to raise awareness at Gainesville's City Hall. WCJB's Hawa Ezel has more on the story time.
Members of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Gainesville Social Justice Group hosted a community story time exclusively featuring banned titles. Residents set up umbrellas, coolers, and lawn chairs to sit and listen to a variety of books read out loud by librarians, bookstore owners, members of the NAACP, and educators.
And what book banning is doing again and again and again, when you look at, for instance, picture books that are banned, are all about black people, about gay people, about books that are written by women.
The event not only included local literary celebrities reading their favorite band titles, but also sported live musical interludes by local ensembles, soloists, and spoken word.
So they're excluding them from the conversation in the classroom, in the town square. So we're just trying to bring that back.
Participants were able to take home a book of their choosing. Organizers invite everyone to visit their library of banned books as they fight the literary limitations.
That was Hawa Ezel from WCJB reporting. Last week, Governor Ron DeSantis signed a new law limiting the number of banned books that can be challenged by certain residents. Starting July 1st, people without children in a school district can only file one complaint per month.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has announced its 2024 inductees. Among the performers are Cher, Mary J. Blige, the Dave Matthews Band, Ozzy Osbourne, and Peter Frampton. Dionne Warwick and Jimmy Buffett will receive the Musical Excellence Awards. The induction ceremony is set to rock Cleveland on October 19th. Fans can look forward to an unforgettable night celebrating music legends.
Taylor Swift is smashing records with the release of her latest album. The Tortured Poets Department had the most first-day streams of any album on Amazon Music, Spotify, and Apple Music. But as Caplin's Isabella Menendez reports, it's more than just an online experience for some in South Florida.
In honor of Taylor Swift's new album coming out, here at Hot Coffee, people of all ages are coming here to have a little drink and celebrate.
Hot Coffee, located at Cooper City, hosted a Taylor Swift theme night. Each menu item is personalized to one of her albums or songs. A DJ played only Taylor Swift music throughout the night.
I am the assistant manager here, so today is way different from everything else because it's Taylor Swift themed. I made all the logos and the merching, which took a lot of hard work.
The community gathered around the coffee place as employees mentioned it's the most packed they've ever seen it, attracting both new and old customers to celebrate the release of her new album that came out last Thursday night.
I am a regular here at the Hot Truck. I love their coffee, their refreshers, pastries, everything. So when I heard that they were doing the Taylor Swift event, I was like, I have to attend because I am a Swiftie. Like, I love her. I've gone to her concerts. I love the album. I feel like it's for everybody, but you know.
The Hot Coffee employees were proud of the hard work that went into planning the event and its success, with many people enjoying their activities such as the photo booth, raffle, and purchasing merchandise.
The employees' ideas and the baristas' ideas, they're all Swifties, so they wanted to bring this to life, and they knew it was such like a good way to bring people in. There's so many events that are happening around Miami to celebrate Taylor Swift's new album. Find your own way. Reporting for the Caplin News, I'm Isabella Menendez.
Thrifted threads struck down the runway in South Florida. As Caplin's Jose Carlos Rodriguez reports, these local designers are mixing their culture with sustainability.
We are here at the Graham Center at Florida International University, where Strike Magazine and FIU Thrift join forces to create the last Tea Party on Earth, a unique fashion event that combines style with sustainability.
This past Sunday at the MMC campus, the student-run publication Strike Magazine and the FIU Thrift Club took over the Graham Center to present their fashion show, The Last Tea Party on Earth. This dynamic event offered the audience a unique perspective on the trendy coquette aesthetic, combining both sustainability and edge.
I would describe the show as an episode out of Bridgerton, a Netflix show, but with a certain twist. Like, people are very into the Bridgerton and coquette trend right now, and we still wanted to give people what they wanted, but like I said, in a very different way and from a different perspective.
They created an entire collection using secondhand clothing with the goal of inspiring others towards eco-friendly fashion.
I always just want to convey like my vision and like the images that I have in my head. So that's been like the hardest part, is like managing the team of stylists and trying to like relay my vision to the stylists and then to the models.
With Strike, we've always aimed to be sustainable. All of our shoes, all of our concepts, all the styling is secondhand or thrifted. So we knew that that was a big part of the show.
And that is it for the last Tea Party on Earth here at the Graham Center Ballrooms. If you like what you saw today, make sure to follow Strike Magazine. They plan to do other events in the future to inspire others towards sustainable fashion. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Jose Carlos Rodriguez.
The last place Marlins look for a win on the road against the first place Braves.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
I'm not ruling in favor of ACC. I'm not ruling that its case is better than FSU's case.
An announcement from the judge handling Florida State's case against the ACC. Stick around, we'll be back in 2 minutes.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
After considering FSU lawsuit against the ACC, a judge in Florida decides to kick it back to the university for a more specific claim. The Florida school is encountering challenges in its legal dispute with the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Yesterday, the judge overseeing the case stated that FSU had not provided sufficient details regarding the issue of personal jurisdiction. This pertains to whether the lawsuit can be filed against the conference in Florida. The judge emphasized that this would not be the conclusion of the case and granted FSU 1 week to address the issue and submit a revised complaint.
What I am ruling is that in a case that's worth, I'm told, up to $500 million on personal jurisdiction, we need a more specific and clearly stated statement of personal jurisdiction.
Following that, the ACC will be given 20 days to reply before another hearing is scheduled. The two parties are contending over media rights as well as exit fees the university would be obligated to pay if it chooses to leave the conference.
The Miami Marlins look for redemption after losing to the Atlanta Braves. It was not the Fishers game as they couldn't score a run against the current first seed in the NL East Division. The final score was Marlins 0, Atlanta 3. The Marlins will play the Braves again tonight at 7:20 p.m. and hopefully the game will have a different outcome.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Laura Palfrey.
And I'm Julian Davis. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.